He only eats the niggas. He didn't say anything about any of these white boys. And none of these white boys like that. And Katt is one of the best painters in the game. So why are you drawing all ugly pictures of us? Stop. And Katt and hurt people, but I'm a hurt person that never hurt people. And he does it all the time. This one and this one. But nigga, I didn't hear anything that you did wrong. You didn't do nothing wrong.
Ever since the Diddy trial kicked off, Dave Chappelle has seemingly vanished from the public eye. His last known appearance was a sketch on Saturday Night Live after which poof radio silence. The internet's been buzzing with questions. Where is Dave? Some believe he's laying low for a very serious reason, that his bold comedy and unapologetic truth-telling may have put a target on his back. The whispers grow louder. Could it be that someone wanted Chappelle silenced? His name has long been a thorn in the side of powerful industry players. For years, he fearlessly used his platform to poke fun at celebrity culture, Diddy included. Whether he was ridiculing Diddy's extravagant lifestyle or satirizing the whole bad boy image, Chappelle never held back. He was raw, real, and deeply respected for saying what others wouldn't dare. Now, there's talk that fellow comedian Katt Williams might know where Dave is and that Dave's absence isn't accidental, but strategic. After all, Chappelle walked away from a $50 million deal at the height of his fame, simply to preserve his integrity. He's always been more than just a comic. He's been a voice of defiance in an industry.
This is what's up. You can live here, you can record here, you can be bad boy artists here, but if you want to do it, first y'all gotta walk to Queens and get me a sugar cookie. A sugar cookie, man. This is crazy. We out. Come on, man.
But that was the old Dave. Now, the script has flipped and the shift has people seriously unsettled. Lately, Chappelle has been showing up in some questionable company, sparking concern among fans who once viewed him as the industry's loudest truth teller. The biggest red flag, his unexpected camaraderie with none other than Diddy. Just before Cassie filed her explosive lawsuit in November, Dave and Diddy were spotted not just mingling but laughing over dinner and reportedly leaving together in the same car, as reported by the Daily Mail. Too many, that wasn't just dinner, it was a signal. Especially since, by that point, Diddy was allegedly well aware of the legal storm heading his way. His cryptic shout-out to Cassie at the BET Awards, "Thank you for holding me down in the dark times." Love hit differently in hindsight. It felt less like appreciation and more like a veiled warning. That's where the story takes a chilling turn. After that very public night with Diddy, Chappelle all but disappeared from the spotlight. Not completely vanished, but unusually quiet. And for someone like Dave, who's built a legacy by confronting chaos with razor-sharp humor, that silence speaks volumes. It's even stranger considering Dave and Katt Williams have long been seen as the industry's watchdogsmen, unafraid to call out the darkness behind Hollywood's glitz. With Diddy making headlines and conspiracy theories flying, this is exactly the kind of material Dave would usually sink his teeth into on stage. Instead, the last time we truly saw him in his element was during his SNL monologue around the same time Kanye West was raising hell with claims about hidden agendas, puppet masters, and blackmail behind the curtain of fame. Now, with Dave suddenly quiet and seemingly cozy with the very figures he once ridiculed, fans are asking, what changed? Or more chillingly, what happened?
You realize, like, they could have just switched to medication and I wouldn't be here. And on the news, they would have said it was because of a mental issue, right?
Yeah.
I ain't never been back to the hospital since 2015, but every time they say I'm crazy, it's just when I'm saying the truth. So what's the crazy part, really? What's the crazy part, really?
Categorize.
They can't control me. You get what I'm saying? They can control Shaq. They can control Charles Barkley. They can control LeBron James. They can control Jay-Z and Beyonce.
But not you, man.
But they can't control me.
Not
You see, it
you.
ain't no name I won't name.
Exactly.
It's up.
Not you.
You know what I'm saying? And just for Minister Farrakhan, I love you, but the way you read that, I took that as a slight. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking no disrespect from nobody, so let's get on the phone, let's talk that out. I don't care who you are. I ain't taking no slights from nobody, right?
So the burning question is, why now? Of all the people in Hollywood, why is Dave Chappelle suddenly seen rubbing shoulders with Diddy? A man widely considered one of the biggest gatekeepers in the very system Dave once exposed and walked away from. That question exploded into the spotlight thanks to Katt Williams, who didn't hold back during his viral appearance on Club Shay Shay. With his signature mix of humor and brutal honesty, Katt lit a match under the whole situation, calling out the hidden costs behind Diddy's so-called deals. According to Katt, those offers aren't just about fame and fortune, they come with strings, and not the kind you can easily cut. He all but confirmed what many have suspected for years, that behind the glamorous contracts lies manipulation, control, and far worse. And those aren't just wild accusations, much of it has already surfaced in court documents, backed by chilling details and testimony. Katt even joked that he'd been offered $50 million not once, but for separate times and turned them all down. Why? To protect his integrity, to stay clean in an industry that demands compromise. And that punchline hits a lot harder when you realize he was talking about the same kind of money Dave once walked away from, too. So now fans are left wondering, has Dave crossed a line he once refused to step near? Or is something even more complex playing out behind the scenes?
I'm glad you're here. Everybody wants to know, why'd you walk away from $50 million?
I wasn't walking away from the money. I was walking away from the circumstances with the newfound plateau.
Yeah.
It was completely outside of my frame of reference. I've been in show business since I was 14. I've heard the stories, seen these kinds of things play out in front of me.
Dave did mention Kanye's sherbet when it came to the broader issues. The deeper industry games, the manipulation he once spoke so boldly about, something was different. This time, Dave didn't confront the beast, he sidestepped it. The Dave Chappelle who once dismantled Hollywood hypocrisy with brutal clarity seemed to tiptoe around the very topics that used to define his voice. And after that SNL episode, silence. No spontaneous club sets, no thought-provoking interviews, no viral commentary, just nothing. Naturally, the internet went into a frenzy trying to piece it all together. Some say he pulled the same move he did years ago, vanished to Africa, out of reach, out of sight. A retreat not from fame, but from the toxic circus that comes with it. Back then, when he famously walked away from a $50 million Comedy Central deal, people couldn't understand it. But Dave was clear. As he told Oprah, "I wasn't walking away from the money, I was walking away from the circumstances." That line stuck with people, because he wasn't just talking about contracts or bad meetings. He was talking about the cost of playing the game at the highest level. Chappelle knew what came with crossing a certain threshold in Hollywood. He'd seen it before. He referenced Mariah Carey's sudden meltdown after a massive record deal, and Martin Lawrence running through traffic with a gun, yelling that someone was trying to kill him. These weren't isolated incidents, they were warnings. And Dave was paying attention. He saw the pattern, the pressure, the breakdowns that follow when entertainers get too big, too outspoken, or too independent. So he did what few ever do, stepped away before the machine could swallow him. And now, with history possibly repeating itself, people are wondering, is Dave disappearing again for the same reasons? Or is this time something different?
I mean, you see before, look, Mariah Carey made a $100 million deal, and 3 months later, she's all of a sudden mysteriously crazy. Or Martin Lawrence punches through and he's waving a gun on the street screaming, "They're trying to me."
Yeah, we hear those stories.
And it always happens around the time of their career where it seems as though they're crossing over the next plateau.
Dave Chappelle, the same man who once fearlessly peeled back the layers of Hollywood's manipulation, now eerily quiet, seen in close company with figures deeply connected to those very same power structures. The irony isn't lost on anyone. The man who once warned us about the game now seems to be in it. Katt Williams may have laced his words with humor during his Club Shay Shay interview, but his message hit like a gut punch. If you refuse to play their game, they can't control you. But the moment you start mingling with the elite, names like Diddy start showing up in your orbiton, from that point on, you're either compliant or you're a target. And that's the shift that has people talking. Since Dave's silence began, his fame has only grown: big stages, bigger deals, polished appearances. Meanwhile, Katt, the one still calling things out, has faced nothing but obstacles. Lawsuits, arrests, smear campaigns. Too many. It looks like Dave traded something: his edge, his independence, for comfort inside the machine he used to mock. What really tipped the scales for fans, though, was Dave's surprising retaliation. In an unexpected pop-up stand-up set, he clapped back at Katt, criticizing him for airing too much dirty laundry, especially the kind that painted other Black comedians in a negative light. It was jarring. This wasn't the Dave who once stood alone against the entire entertainment industry. This was someone seemingly defending the very insiders Katt was warning us about. And just like that, the man who once walked away from millions to stay true now looks at least as if he may have.
Yeah, that wasn't the thing. It wasn't. People say that he lost $50 million. No, that's not even close to what happened to this dude. And until you understand what happened to the dude, you don't understand what happened. Like, no, not they offered him $50 million and he turned it down. Who gonna turn down $50 million? Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did. I did. See, I got the receipts for everything I'm telling you. That's why I can say them so freely.
Can I need to know? You here, get your notes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Now, with the timeline raising eyebrows, Dave Chappelle spotted dining with Diddy just before the lawsuit bombshell. Then going completely off the radar after Diddy's arrest, fans are more confused than ever. And in an industry known for silencing outspoken voices, some are beginning to worry that something deeper, even darker, might be going on. Social media is flooded with questions and concern. One fan summed it up in a tweet: "Chappelle's last Netflix special left me wondering what happened. Say it isn't so, Dave." Another chimed in more bluntly: "Diddy got something on Dave?" It's not just speculation, it's a sense of collective unease. This is a man who used to call out the machine, who warned us about the price of fame and the traps waiting for those who speak too loudly. Now, he's quieterly quiet just as the world finally starts paying attention to the very people he used to mock. So what's really going on? Has Dave been pulled behind the curtain, silenced, or compromised? Or is he playing a deeper game, waiting for the right moment to speak? One thing's for sure, this chapter in comedy isn't just about laughs. It's about power, pressure, and the price of telling the truth in an industry that prefers silence. If you're here for the stories, they don't want you to hear for the raw, unfiltered truths buried under the glitz. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out the next video. There's always more behind the scenes than meets the eye.
He only eats the niggas. He didn't say anything about any of these white boys. And none of these white boys like that. And Katt is one of the best painters in the game. So why are you drawing all ugly pictures of us? Stop. And Katt and hurt people, but I'm a hurt person that never hurt people. And he does it all the time. This one and that one and this one. But nigga, I didn't hear anything that you did wrong. You didn't do nothing wrong?
That moment didn't sit right with longtime fans. After all, The Chappelle Show wasn't just comedy, it was a cultural scalpel, slicing through the hypocrisy of both white institutions and Black elites. Dave built his name on mocking power, exposing the uncomfortable, and holding a mirror to the industry. Now, suddenly, he was accusing Katt Williams of going too far for doing the very thing he once championed. To many, it felt like a betrayal. And Katt felt it too. In a follow-up interview with the New York Times, Katt expressed disbelief, saying he never thought Dave of all people would turn on him. "There's no big dogs for them to call other than Chappelle," Katt said, "and Chappelle would never cross me." And then he did. This wasn't just about stand-up or public jabs. For Katt, it cut deeper. It was about trust, loyalty, a shared code among those who refused to be puppets in an industry built on compromise. Dave wasn't just a peer, he was a symbol of resistance. Or at least, he used to be. And yet, Katt's deeper message came not just in the punchlines, but in the philosophy behind them. In that same Club Shay Shay interview, he framed it plainly not as a race issue, but a spiritual one. It's God's side and the other side. And we don't care nothing about the other side. That line stuck. Because it wasn't just a metaphor, it was a declaration. A reminder that some battles aren't just about fame or money, they're about choosing a side. And to Katt, Dave's recent moves made it painfully clear which side he might be leaning toward now.
I came in this business saying I was going to expose. When I talked about Michael Jackson, when I talked about R. Kelly, they canceled me for these things because why would you talk about another black dude? Race is not where the line is drawn. It's God's side and the other side. And we don't care nothing about the other side. Period. All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way.